All right, today we're going to do something unique and we're going to have a little interview with my son, George. How old are you, George?
I'm 11.
And what happened to your liver?
Um, January, January 1st, my liver failed, and I had to go to the hospital. And we didn't know what was going on at the time. I was really yellow. My mom came upstairs, and my lips were blue. I wasn't really responsive, and I couldn't walk. So my dad had to carry me out to the car. We headed to the hospital. I think first it was Kirby. They couldn't get
It's okay. Go ahead.
what?
Nothing.
Okay. They couldn't get a line in my arm to I don't know what that was for, but couldn't get a line in my arms.
How many times did they try? Do you remember?
No.
Do you have any idea? Do you remember much about that time?
I mean, I remember the girl with hair that was like fizzy, not fizzy, but like curly, short. We saw her the other day when we were drawing my blood at Carl. Or at Kirby, sorry.
So do you remember how many times they tried to stick you a whole bunch of times?
I can't remember. I don't know. I remember 16 or 12.
Yeah, it was like 12.
I'm surprised I remember that. And then we had to go to Carl because they couldn't stick me with a line at Kirby.
Now, do you remember any of that, the trip, or are you doing it from me telling you?
Do
you remember all this for real, for yourself, or?
I remember some, like, bits and parts of it. I remember being, I don't know, I think it was the Carl or Kirby. I think it was Carl. I think it was the lobby, and I was reading or something, and Nadia, my sister, came in. She gave me a hug.
That was at Carl.
Oh yeah, that was at Carl. And she gave me a hug. And then the next thing I remember after that was being in our little room. It was like it had a curtain and it closed and opened.
Yeah.
Well, Taylor was there because she works at Carl.
Who's Taylor?
My sister.
What does she do? Both of them are working in nursing. So.
She helps moms and babies after.
She's a OBGYN pediatric nurse, RN. Yeah.
I didn't know. And then she was there helping me. Wasn't she supposed to be doing her job though?
Yeah, they let her come down because you were her brother and you were having liver failure. So.
Oh, okay. And she was helping me. They gave me some orange juice in a cup. I remember that. Because I was throwing up a bunch of bile and stuff, and my blood sugar was low, so they had to give me orange juice.
Do you remember how low your blood sugar was?
No.
It was 42.
Oh.
Really low.
The orange juice was not very good. But, well, probably was. But. Okay, and then I remember.
So that was, real quick, that was January 1st of this year. So what is today?
March 24th or 5th?
27th.
That's right. I haven't been paying attention to the date. So.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to point that out because it hasn't been very long. So, but go ahead.
And then I remember being in the ambulance a little bit. Like, I remember seeing the wall. And then I remember getting out of the ambulance in this big garage area, which had a bunch of yellow lights. And that's when we were in Chicago. Since my ammonia levels were so high, I couldn't remember anything really that much. Like, I was really confused. Then on the way to the ambulance, didn't I ask Mom? Oh no, they asked me, the paramedics or something. I don't know. They asked me if I knew who I was, and then I asked for an egg.
You asked for an egg when they asked you who you were?
Yeah. And
do you remember asking me if you were going to die on the way to the hospital?
little bit. I do kind of remember that. I was sitting in the front seat. I looked at the coaster and I asked you if I was going to die.
Do you remember what I said?
I think you said something like, we all die one day. And today you're not going to die? I
Yeah, so that was pretty much what I said, more or less. All right, go back to you're now, you just got into the Chicago hospital and you just remember being wheeled out of the ambulance.
And then the next thing I remember waking up, since they probably had me on medication to get me to sleep after that, I was asleep until my surgery. I don't know if this was a dream or not, a hallucination or something. I thought I woke up to when they pulled my liver out of me, and I thought I saw like a split second of her holding one of my organs, probably my liver, because I remember feeling when I was asleep it was dark because my eyes were closed. I remember feeling a sharp pain right here for like a second, and then her pulling out, and I feel like I woke up for a second and then like went right back to sleep. Something, but and then.
So you were asleep. How many days after you got to the ER in Chicago did it take for them to find a liver to give you a transplant?
3.
So what day did you get your transplant?
January 4th.
Right. So we went on the 1st and you got your transplant on the 4th. That's unusual to get it that quick. Do you remember?
I hate to interrupt things, but it is time for minutes.
Okay. Well, what time is it?
It's 20 after.
Okay, well, give us another 10 minutes. We'll be there. 8:30, still within the zone. It'll be okay. All right, so you got a liver. Do you know who you got it from?
Do they know my name?
Huh?
Mom, do they know my donor's name?
No, I don't know.
They don't tell us that information, but tell us what you know.
It was a 25-year-old girl that died from drug overdose, and I don't know. That's what I know.
That's all we know.
Do you pray for her
Mhm.
every day?
Mhm.
Are you grateful?
Yes, I'm very grateful. So I would not be alive right now.
Right, you definitely would not. Even with the liver, you shouldn't be alive. It's a miracle. All right, so tell us what you remember next after you had the surgery.
Next thing I remember was waking up. Well, I don't know. I just remember being in my room, and I remember being in my room, in this room, and I looked out my window, and there was a happy birthday read sign because January 8th was my birthday, and it was like, I don't know, it was the day I woke up, was January 8th. That was when they also took out the intubating tube out of my...
Do you remember all those days you were really agitated because you had that tube in and you couldn't talk and you couldn't breathe and you were really uncomfortable? And you remember any of that?
No.
Okay, you were pretty drugged up.
I know the uncomfortable feeling of them
Yeah.
pulling it out. That did not feel good.
Yeah. Your mom and I were really stressed because we didn't sleep for like 4 days, and we were watching you suffer, and you were out of it. You didn't realize what you were, but you were interacting with us. I mean, it wasn't like you were completely out. So a lot of the time you were asleep, but a lot of the time you would wake up and you were really miserable, and you were interacting and you were responding appropriately to whenever I asked you questions by squeezing.
You might want to put this on YouTube.
Huh? You were squeezing my hand every time I told you stuff or asked you questions, and you would do it appropriately. What did you just ask?
Oh, nothing.
All right, so go back. So you woke up when they took the intubating tube out on the 8th. So basically for a week you were out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now what do you remember after that?
Well, the first nurse I remember having was Maggie. And then I think the nurse after that I remember having was Rebecca, maybe? I don't know. I think her name was like Rebecca or something. a bunch of nurses, so it's gonna be hard to name them. But yeah, I had a lot of nurses. And then I just basically sat in my room all the time, so that's all I really did. And then I couldn't get sleep for about 4 days straight, so I was awake the whole time, and it was boring at night.
And you were miserable.
Because I was staring at a wall, making pictures in my mind for 6 hours straight. Through the night. 4 days in a row. It was boring.
Yeah, you were pretty fussy too.
And then at 9 o'clock in the morning, guess where you usually come? Or you say you come at 9 o'clock in the morning, or 10 or something.
Well, at first we were really strict about it. We would get there at like 7 o'clock every morning. But as you got better, we were trying to catch up on sleep.
And then I was like, every morning I was like, it's been 2 hours. Where are my mother parents?
Yeah, we were tired, buddy. Sorry about that. But you got to understand, we didn't have any sleep for the first couple of weeks.
Really?
Yeah, we were really tired. Well, I mean, the first 4 days we didn't sleep hardly at all, maybe an hour. But the days after that, you were still touch and go for quite a while. So even when we slept, we didn't sleep very good, and we were trying to catch up on sleep, even though you can't really, but we tried. So we were really tired. It was very stressful. So,
And
do you remember all the tubes and stuff coming out of you and all that stuff?
Tubes? I remember some.
Do you remember all the incisions and the staples and the?
Yeah, I remember staples and stuff. That was after they took me off.
Do you remember the drainage tubes?
I didn't see those, but I have a marking right here of them.
Yeah.
Those were where they were. I remember the surgeon coming in and telling me she was going to take out a tube in my side. Yeah, I was freaking out.
Yeah.
I couldn't handle that. I was like...
You don't remember that? Because you told me after what she did, felt really... I was there when she did it. You don't remember that?
I don't remember you being there. I just remember Mom.
I was there.
She said, oh, I'm just going to cut a couple stitches, okay?
Yeah.
What?
I was sitting off to the side. At that point, I wasn't as worried about you as I was in the beginning. But
yeah, I was like, you're going to cut a couple stitches? You had stitches in me? I didn't even know that I had stitches in me at the time.
Yeah, you had stitches and staples.
I thought I just had staples right here. But staples, those are used for paper.
Well, what was the most difficult and traumatic thing that you remember?
Most traumatic? Most traumatic thing for me is I was stuck in a hospital for 2 months and I couldn't go home and couldn't see my friends and family, and I missed my pets and animals. And 2 other traumatic things were the chicken pen burning down, and then we didn't have any chickens, and Matthew, which was a really special chicken to me, passed away. And then Annie, we had to put her down.
Yeah, that was right before you came home.
And I couldn't really say goodbye, so it was really hard for me.
Well, the other truly traumatic thing I remember was when they took all the staples out. You were not happy about that.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot about that. I can't believe it.
Yeah, you were pretty freaked out by that.
It wasn't that bad. It's just it didn't feel very good.
It's a scary thought. Yeah, I get it.
I thought that it was going to feel like I'm being shot.
What is the best thing you remember?
Best thing?
The thing that made you feel really loved, or the most comforting thing that you remember?
Going home.
Going home. But I'm talking about when you were going through it all.
Oh. You guys getting there in the morning, and me having my first popsicle. Why? Still have the pictures from that. That popsicle was really good. I hadn't had one in a while, so.
Yeah, you didn't eat for many days. Like a week and a half or something.
Yeah, I didn't throw up that one like the other ones I did.
Yeah, you threw up a lot.
Yeah. What? Oh, yeah. I actually did kind of like throwing up because it made me feel better after. Like, sometimes I just wanted to throw up. I was like, can you just give me... I remember saying to one of the doctors, can you just give me something to help me throw up?
They used to do that. They used to have something called syrup of ipecac. They used to do that. They don't do that anymore.
Dang.
When you threw up, did it hurt your liver? Did it hurt your guts or your stitches?
No. It just made me feel... You know that feeling when you're first, like, throwing up and your mouth gets all... Like, your spit gets all warm and...
Yeah.
Yeah, and hot. And I was like... And that's what happened in the church the other day after I took my medicine.
Yeah.
I felt it coming on my tongue, and I felt like a panic attack kind of feeling.
Yeah.
I got down. I was kind of on the toilet at that point. So.
Do you remember how high your blood pressure got? How bad your heart rate was? Do you remember any of those times you had really severe heart rates or panic attacks? Or because you did while you were, while you were hooked up to all those tubes and stuff. Your blood pressure got really like up to 200 over 100 and something, and your heart rate was like really high, like 140 and 150, 160. Yeah, it was kind of scary, dude.
It's dangerous.
Yeah, you were scary.
See, I don't remember. I remember hearing about like Uncle Aaron, Aunt Kate, and Taylor came. Well, Taylor was there for the first couple days. Taylor was there with me, and my mom and them were sitting by me and like talking to me. I was still out of it, so I can't remember them talking to me. And they had me like locked down to the bed because I would move a lot and like freak out.
Yeah, you would try to pull your tubes out and stuff.
Well, my jugular that was in my
the dialysis, yeah.
Yeah, that fell out, and then I was bleeding a lot out of my neck. So my Uncle Aaron, he distracted Mom by going.
Yeah, your mom would have flipped out. She would have totally
going,
flipped out.
He said, "So Abra, I've got these new cars." He's so funny, but and then like a bunch of nurses rushed in on me. I heard about that. I don't know. It's funny, but
So what did you learn from all this? I know that's a deep question. There's no wrong answer. There's a lot to learn from it. Do you have any advice for parents or other kids that are going through this sort of thing?
Going through this sort of thing?
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry I didn't give you time to think about these things.
After a while, you probably will get better, and within I don't know. I'm trying to think. I know. I usually come up with the things to say. I have something good. I just have to think about it.
Do you know that your blood levels, so your liver enzymes, and your
27,000.
27,000. Have you looked up to see how many kids survive that?
No, I haven't looked up that.
You should look that up. What about your ammonia levels?
I haven't. I know it was really high.
The doctors didn't think you were going to survive. They thought you were dead. And,
yeah, they didn't want to tell you that.
But they did hint to us very strongly. They kept telling us over and over again that you were really bad off. You were the sickest kid in the United States. You were number 1 on the liver transplant list. They didn't expect you to live. That they were not going to tell us that. They wanted us to have hope. But they were not optimistic. They did not have, you know what I'm saying? They were just saying we had to keep our prayers up. So they were surprised that you didn't have brain damage. They were really impressed with that.
Yeah,
2 minutes.
I don't know.
Who do you give credit to that?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Definitely God.
So prayers help, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Do you know how many people were praying for you?
Well, I know over 1,000.
Over 1,000. There was literally people praying for you all over the planet, in other countries. We were getting messages from everybody all over the place.
Even I remember didn't Mrs. Kim texted Mom on Facebook
Uh-huh.
about it, and I hadn't seen Mrs. Kim ever since I was in pre-K because she moved to Texas. I remember being really sad about that because she was one of my favorite teachers. She had to move to Texas or something. I was excited to hear that she actually talked to Mom. I had to wait to at least say hi or something.
So do you appreciate life more?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what you want to be when you grow up?
Well, I was thinking a doctor. Or a liver doctor or something like that.
No, really?
Oh, yeah,
For real?
obviously.
You're not squeamish about blood?
Well,
Although you do make all those nasty special effects.
those aren't real blood. Yeah, I'm not that squeamish about blood that as much as I used to be.
Well, that's good.
Like,
Do you realize do you feel like any less nervous about getting poked with needles now?
I feel like that's gone a little bit down because I used to be really scared of needles, and they've been doing that every 2 weeks, so it's
So
not
you
really a big deal to me anymore.
That's
Especially
good.
if Tina's doing it, she's funny.
She's good at it too, huh?
Yeah. Have you seen Tina before? She works at Kirby.
I probably have because I go to get my blood drawn there too, but I don't know.
She's the one with the short gray hair. I think she has some kind of,
Surgery?
yeah,
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
she's funny.
She is funny. She's nice. I used to work with the other one's mom.
She kept on calling me dude.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're up to 23 minutes, so we probably should end this. So, I would like to thank the parents of the woman who gave her life for your liver, and we pray for her and ask God to have mercy upon her. And I hope this helps somebody that's going through this sort of thing, and keep us in your prayers. Anything else you want to add before we go?
If your child does not feel good, looks yellow, and has blue lips in the morning, definitely check them out.
Do you think we waited too long?
No.
No, I didn't think so either, but it was pretty scary.
Yeah. I mean,
You were only sick for like 3 days, 4 days before we took you in.
Yeah, because you
It
guys.
happened really fast.
I remember you guys saying, I think you thought maybe I could get over it because you thought maybe it'd just be like a flu or something.
I knew you were getting dehydrated. That was my concern.
Yeah, I am thirsty right now.
All right, let's quit. God bless. Pray for us sinners. Over and out.